What's up, everyone? DSP here with a special video, and I never usually do anything like this here on DSPGaming, but this video is regarding pro wrestling and something that happened last night on WWE television. And if you're not interested in wrestling at all, or you just don't give a shit, close the video right now. I'm going to warn you, because there's nothing gaming related in this video. But the reason I'm making this video is because I've gotten such an overwhelming reaction and a lot of messages in regards to something that happened last night on Monday Night Raw last night on WWE TV. Now, this video is going to contain spoilers, not only of what happened last night, but of some developments that have happened overnight. And so if you don't want to be spoiled, if you don't want to know what's going on or anything like that, I recommend that you also close this video before I get into it. I'm also going to give my honest feelings about the situation. So, here goes. Ready? Again, spoiler alert. Close the video right now if you don't want to hear anything about what's going on or what's really going on, okay? So last night on WWE TV, on Monday Night Raw, there's an ongoing situation with the wrestler CM Punk. And CM Punk has decided, in real life, that he's leaving the WWE. He doesn't want to be there anymore. And he's been there for some 6 years. He's had multiple title reigns, so it's not like he hasn't accomplished what he was looking to accomplish. Now, in real life, there are a lot of reasons why he's probably leaving. It might just be because, unlike a lot of these other wrestlers, he's not so addicted to money that he wants to be there all the time. I'm sure, with the grueling road schedule and everything that happens with the WWE, at some point you get burnt out. And he's probably saying at this point, what haven't I done? I've won the title multiple times. I've been the top heel multiple times. I've been a face. He's pretty much figured he's accomplished everything he's wanted to accomplish, and he's not addicted to it like some of these guys like Hogan and Flair, who are in the business and just can't fucking leave, okay? So, he's leaving, and in 3 weeks his contract expires with WWE, and he's leaving. Now, last week on Monday Night Raw, he actually announced this. He said, listen, I'm leaving. And he won a #1 contenders match, so he's going to have a title shot at the next pay-per-view, which is called Money in the Bank, against John Cena. And the whole angle that they're going with here is that he wants to leave the WWE as the champion, okay? Which has never been done, by the way, for a male anyway. For female wrestlers, one did actually leave as the champion and went to WCW, but male wrestlers, no male wrestlers ever left as the champion. In fact, the last one who was going to do it was Bret Hart, and then that was when Vince McMahon screwed him out of the title. Well, screwed him. Basically stripped him of the title by rigging a title match at a pay-per-view, a Survivor Series. Or was it SummerSlam? Anyway, I digress. So anyway, what's going on with the ongoing plot is that CM Punk is leaving in 3 weeks now, and he was going to get a title shot against John Cena. He wants to leave as the champion. So last night, at the end of Monday Night Raw, John Cena had a match, a tables match against another wrestler, R-Truth, and ended up losing this match because CM Punk and he has a group of wrestlers called the Nexus. They interfered, and John Cena ended up getting put through a table. So he's in the ring destroyed. Okay, he's all he's selling that he's hurt, and CM Punk grabs a mic, goes up the ramp, sits down at the top of the ramp, and goes on a promo. Now, this promo was no ordinary promo. This was at the very end of Monday Night Raw. And it's what they call the overrun, which means Monday Night Raw never actually has a set time that it ends, okay? Typically, WWE likes to let it run, say, 10 to 15 minutes after the 2-hour mark, depending on what's going on with the show. So during this overrun time period, CM Punk starts giving a promo, and he basically gives the harshest shoot promo probably ever given on WWE TV. Okay, ever. And keep in mind, Monday Night Raw is live, so everything he's saying is going live out to the country or the world. And basically he says, I actually don't dislike you, John Cena. Everyone thinks this promo is going to be cut to John Cena. And he says, I actually don't dislike you. You're one of the guys in the locker room I actually like a lot. However, you're one of the best ass kissers in the business. You kiss Vince McMahon's ass. And also, just like you, Dwayne, and when he's saying Dwayne, he's referring to The Rock. He says The Rock is also one of the biggest ass kissers in the business, and so was Hulk Hogan. and that's why basically you're on top and everyone else is held down in this company. And it pains him, I'm speaking as CM Punk, but it pains him that the main event of WrestleMania next year has already been announced, and it's going to be John Cena against The Rock. He says, why the hell is The Rock in the main event of WrestleMania when you have all these wrestlers busting their asses day in, day out every single week, and they don't get to be in the main event, and The Rock does? It makes no sense to him. And then he goes on to basically reference a bunch of things that have never been talked about on WWE TV because they're all behind-the-scenes stuff. He mentions things like how he likes Ring of Honor, how he likes Paul Heyman, how Brock Lesnar was a Paul Heyman guy and that's why he left the business. He couldn't take it anymore. How Vince McMahon surrounds himself with ass-kissers and yes-men like John Laurinaitis, who's a main head writer there at WWE. And then he basically goes on to say, and this is really harsh, he says, I would wish that Vince McMahon would drop dead, because if Vince McMahon dropped dead, you would think that WWE would improve, but it wouldn't even matter because then it would just be inherited by his idiot daughter and his doofus son. And of course he's referencing Stephanie McMahon and Triple H, whose real name is Paul Levesque, who's actually married to Stephanie McMahon, who undoubtedly are going to inherit this business once Vince McMahon is out of it. So he's saying all this really crazy, harsh stuff about the business. And everyone watching this live is just like, what the fuck is going on? Is this for real, or is this a work, something that WWE has scripted? And it was very unclear, but being that he was being so harsh and the things that he was saying were so behind the scenes, like you wouldn't know any of this stuff unless you were really like a person who's into the business, who's into WWE, and you're on the internet, you research that kind of stuff. You wouldn't know what's going on right now. And he's going on, and then he goes on to another angle. He goes, well, right now the WWE is running this really strong anti-bullying campaign, okay? Well, let me tell you something about Vince McMahon in real life. Here's a real-life Vince McMahon story. So he was basically going to go on and tell a story about how Vince McMahon is a bully. Now, all this stuff that CM Punk is saying has been rumored. It's been stuff that's been on the internet, behind the scenes of people who are in on the scene for a long time. It's all negative stuff about WWE and the wrestling industry that people have known, or at least talked about. And so everyone, at this point, when he starts telling this story, everyone's like, shit, this must be for real. This is like a really strong, honest shoot promo that CM Punk is doing here on Monday Night Raw. Now, as Punk starts to go into this story, he's 6 minutes into this promo, by the way. He starts to go into this story, his mic cuts off. And so he's like, and he's all pissed off, obviously, because his mic cuts off. So he throws the mic away, and he looks at the camera, and basically he starts going off on the camera that's right next to him. All of a sudden, the entire broadcast cuts off, okay? It just cuts to black, and the next thing you know, it cuts to a commercial, a USA Network commercial. And everyone goes, holy fuck, what just happened? Maybe this is real. This seems really honest and real. What just happened? It seems like CM Punk was kind of saying stuff that he wasn't supposed to say on TV, and he was being really honest and shooting from the hip, and he probably figures, hey, my contract is up in 3 weeks anyway, what are they going to do, fire me? Who gives a shit? And then they cut him off and cut the broadcast off. So then, as everyone's speculating at the end of Raw, what the hell just happened, within a couple minutes, on WWE.com, there's a major announcement put up. CM Punk has been indefinitely suspended from the WWE for his actions at the end of Monday Night Raw. So now everyone's like, holy shit, this thing was for real. And then as if to confirm even further, then his Facebook page was completely removed from the internet, which was run by WWE. And then he was removed completely from the WWE website. You couldn't even find him on the website. He was completely taken off. So people at this point, it's maybe 11:30, 11:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. People are saying, wow, this shit was legit. It was for real. And it looks like CM Punk maybe overstepped his bounds. And the debate started up in the community, was what he did unprofessional? And if, judging that, if this is a real promo, okay? I'm taking a drink like R-Truth during the middle of a match. But anyway, if this were a real promo, yeah, this would probably be very unprofessional. I mean, you understand that when you're employed by someone that you shouldn't go out and speak negatively about them, especially on their own show. It's one thing if maybe you're you're not wrestling, you know what I mean? You're not on Raw, but you're off, and maybe you're doing a shoot interview somewhere with some website or whatever, and you want to do that kind of stuff, but if you're on Monday Night Raw, you can't do that. You can't talk negatively about your employer. You can't talk shit about stuff like that. That's just crazy unprofessional. So, this was like a first. This was unprecedented that someone on WWE TV would do something like this, and people were just going absolutely nuts all over the world who had seen it, and then also all over the internet. Is this real? What's going on? So, if things had gone a certain way, this probably would have been the greatest shoot promo ever done. It probably would have made waves in the wrestling world and would have probably been one of the most eventful things to ever happen in pro wrestling, okay? And then WWE had to fuck it up because Vince McMahon, and yes, it's funny because this promo that CM Punk cut is actually true. In real life, Vince McMahon surrounds himself with idiot yes men who told him that this was a good idea, okay? They blew it, okay? And here's how they blew it. Again, spoiler alert, I'm really spoiling here, but anyone who had an internet connection within a half an hour of Raw going off the air would have known that this entire thing was a work. It was scripted, it was fake, CM Punk wasn't speaking honestly, he was told what to say when he went out there, it was all faked, the cutting off of the mic, the ending of the broadcast was not legit. CM Punk is not really suspended, okay? Here's what happened, okay? The WWE next week, if you know, on Monday, it's July 4th. July 4th is Independence Day, which is a national holiday in the United States. The WWE does not film on July 4th, and typically when Monday Night Raw is live, well, what they decided to do was have a double Raw filming last night, one live show for the night in Las Vegas, and then immediately after that, there was another filming of Raw, and this was going to be filmed and broadcast next week. So next week, Monday Night Raw is not going to be live. So let me ask you something. Just riddle me this. If you're going to do something completely unprecedented in the wrestling industry, and you're going to try to make waves, and you're going to try to cause controversy, and try to make people believe that what just happened on WWE TV Live was real, would you immediately film the next week's episode of Monday Night Raw directly after the show goes off the air, and immediately fucking spoil the whole thing? Do you have a brain in your fucking head? I mean, it's the dumbest thing I've ever seen or heard in my life. We're going to really try to shake things up and do something original and spoil it within 10 fucking minutes. Oh my God. Why do people get paid? Why does anyone get paid over there? Like, a fucking 5-year-old could have said, if you have a secret, don't spoil it within 5 minutes. It's kind of fucking common sense. So, oh my God. So here's what happened, okay? They filmed the next episode of Raw. And obviously people who just saw what they saw, who were at the first taping of Raw, said, holy fuck, everyone wants to know what's going on. I'm going to tweet, or I'm going to blog, or I'm going to go on my smartphone and tell everyone what's happening at the second taping of Raw, which is exactly what they did. And here's what happens. John Cena comes out and says, oh, I can't believe Vince McMahon suspended CM Punk. I thought that he was all about freedom of speech. I don't stand up for this. Blah, blah, blah. Now, in real life, would John Cena do that? No! John Cena's a face. He wouldn't give a fuck if CM Punk had been suspended or not. They're going with this whole stupid, again, Superman, pretty, squeaky clean, completely face image where he completely stands up for truth and justice in the American way. When the fuck, seriously, did John Cena become Superman? But that's what they've turned him into at this point. He's Superman. And so Vince McMahon comes out, and over the course of the night, there's all this debate about it. And then finally, at the end of the night, John Cena says, if you don't let CM Punk say what he wants to say and be who he wants to be, and you're going to censor him, then this title means nothing. And he hands the title to Vince McMahon at the end of the night. And Vince McMahon at the end of the night turns around and says, all right, then you can have your match with CM Punk at Money in the Bank. He's reinstated. And so the entire thing is a complete fucking work and fabrication. And it's a waste of fucking time. As a fan of WWE, here's what I have to say about this. Fuck you, Vince McMahon. Fuck you, John Laurinaitis. Fuck you, all the dumb writers and yes men over there who think that it's a good idea to do something like this. I'm tired of it. What you have to understand at this point is that the world has changed. It's not the 1980s anymore. information disseminates instantly. You can't ignore the fucking internet anymore. Every night on Raw, all they do is talk about Twitter now. They have Twitter accounts promoting everything, so obviously they're aware of the power the internet has. You can't pretend like it doesn't exist and say, oh, well, we're going to do this really cool promo. Who cares if it's spoiled on the internet? Just ignore the internet. No one else is going to know. You're fucking morons. And at this point, your product is now becoming so irrelevant at this point that I don't understand how you're going to continue to make money, okay? Funny, because some of the things that CM Punk said in his shoot promo are true. He said Vince McMahon should be a billionaire, not a millionaire. The reason he's only a millionaire is because he surrounds himself with these idiot yes men who let him do these dumb fucking things every week. And he's absolutely right. This is the dumbest fucking thing ever done on WWE TV. And I've seen everything. I've seen mannequin hands shoved up people's asses. I've seen cars blow up and fake suicides. I've seen all kinds of shit happen. This is the worst fucking thing I've ever seen. You can't do something that has potential to be so great and fucking spoil it and ruin it within 10 minutes. You can't. It makes you show how stupid you really fucking are. So I'm sorry, I'm pissed off right now that WWE had this great idea, and because of dumb fucking timing and bad decisions, they completely blew it within 10 to 15 minutes. What a waste of life. Seriously. What a waste of potential and life, and this could have been huge if they had just, I understand why they had to do this. Here's why. Because CM Punk, for real, his contract does really expire in roughly 3 weeks. No, it's not exactly in 3 weeks. It's roughly 3 weeks to a month his contract expires. And so they want to hype up this pay-per-view as much as they can. And they said, well, gee, they probably had this idea this past week. Not the week before, but this past week, some brainiac over at WWE, we got to have CM Punk do a fake shoot promo. And we have to cut the broadcast to make it look like it's real. And so here's Vince McMahon and his yes men sitting around at a table, and they're all thinking, well, gee, we could do it this week. The problem is if we do it this week, we're recording Raw directly after, and so it'll get spoiled right away. Everyone will know that it's fake. And they said, all right, well, what do we do? Well, we can delay it till next week. Well, how can we delay it till next week? Because next week's Raw is recorded, so everyone will know if they just cut off the broadcast that it's also fake, because here's what happens with WWE. Raw is the only live show that they have, okay? SmackDown is actually a recorded show. So if any controversial stuff happens on SmackDown, they wouldn't cut the broadcast off. They would edit the show so that it ends when it has to end and someone would explain what happened or whatever. So you would know if on July 4th, if that Raw was the one that they cut off, you would also know it's fake. Because then you say, all right, well, we know that they're not going to cut off a recorded show, so there's obviously bullshit. It's a fake promo. So instead of saying, gee, well, let's find another way around this. Let's be creative. Let's find a way for CM Punk to still do the promo, but make it uncertain if it's real or not. They decide to just go with Plan A, which is just record the next Raw after it, so everyone will spoil it, and who gives a fuck, because we're smarter than everyone else, and the internet doesn't matter. Just ignore the internet. Okay? This is real. I'm not even kidding. This is the mentality that the WWE has. All those people on the internet, they're not real wrestling fans. They're not the ones that matter. They're just a bunch of guys who think that they're smarter than everyone else. Fuck them. Push them to the side. Who cares if they know what's going on? It's just the people who just watch TV and are dumb and don't know anything better than that. Those are the real fans. That's the mentality of Vince McMahon and his writers. And I'm not kidding you. That really is their mentality. That's how dumb they are. And that's why their product these past couple of years is just shit. Because they don't want to embrace technology, embrace where the fans are going. They don't care. They really don't. There's all these wrestling shows and podcasts and things about wrestling that are like kind of behind the scenes of the industry. And the WWE has come out publicly and said that these guys are assholes. They don't belong where they are. They're just a bunch of dicks behind a computer. This is what they're saying about fans on the internet, okay? So this is their mentality, and this is why they did this thing last night and didn't give a shit that it was going to be spoiled immediately. Well, I'm sorry. I've been a long-time fan before the internet was the internet. I was a fan of the WWE in the 80s, and I was there all through the Hulk Hogan era, through the Ultimate Warrior era, through The Undertaker, Bret Hart, HBK, DX, Stone Cold, The Rock, all the way through the Invasion, and all the way through all the new stuff that's been going on, you know, from 2000 to 2010 and up to now. And This is a slap in the fucking face. This is disrespectful. And this is basically saying, we hope you're stupid and don't check the internet. So, fuck this at this point. I'm kind of so angry at the situation that they think we're so dumb, you know. I can suspend my disbelief to a point. Yeah, I understand that wrestling isn't real. It is real in the fact that people get hurt, and it's very dangerous, and it's very risky to do it. But it's not real. We know the outcomes are staged and all this. Okay, I can suspend my disbelief that much. I cannot suspend my disbelief so much that I don't go on the fucking internet to see what's going on with a controversial thing that just happened. I mean, the internet is mainstream now, Vince. Wake the fuck up. Get your head out of the fucking toilet and realize that people are going to check it. People at your shows are going to give spoilers. You can't do the biggest, most controversial shoot promo ever staged and then have it spoiled 10 minutes later. You're a moron. And he really is losing touch at this point. Vince McMahon is becoming senile. I hate to say it, because I've been a fan of him for so long. He's becoming senile. He needs to step down. He needs to let other people, and no, not yes men, and not Stephanie and Hunter write the fucking show. He needs to get fresh writers, people who are in the now, people who are maybe fans, who knows? People who are fans who have been following wrestling for a long ass time, but now know what the people like and want. They need to be the ones who are given the power to write his TV. It's that simple. And people will enjoy it then, you know? Have these big rivalries built up. That's not fucking John Cena every week. The reason that John Cena is on top of WWE TV is because they don't know what else to do to sell merchandise. Kids love John Cena because he's just like Hulk Hogan was in the 80s and early 90s. He is the Superman figure. And so he sells the most merch. But what the WWE doesn't understand is that if they knew how to promote all these other wrestlers like CM Punk, like everyone else who's trying to be an up-and-comer and get swept under the rug for The Rock and John Cena, they would sell merch too. But the WWE doesn't care. They're lazy. All they want to do is the same old shit they've always done. Promote one guy as the big, squeaky clean, super face Superman figure. Let the kids buy his merch. Who gives a fuck about everyone else? We'll just give them silly mid-card matches and stupid feuds that no one cares about. They'll be in ridiculous dancing contests. And we'll have matches between, you know, Jerry the King Lawler and Michael Cole instead of giving time to real wrestlers who are trying to fucking actually be up-and-comers in this business and are busting their ass week in, week out. That's the disgusting face of the business that no one really likes to talk about, but that's the truth of it. The writers are fucking lazy, and they're idiots. And Vince isn't willing to let anyone else take a shot. He just likes what he likes, and he's really being a dictator to his own company, which he has every right to do, but then you're just going to have shit like you had last night. You're going to have John Cena every fucking week come out to massive boos because every adult in that arena doesn't want to see him. It's only the children who want to see him, okay? Alright, I'm done. I've ranted now about how angry I am about the situation. That's what's really going on with WWE. You don't even have to watch Raw next week, really. It's a complete waste of fucking time. They're really just kind of saying, we don't care about the fans anymore. We'll completely fuck you over and waste your time with bullshit. It really is. It's a slap in the face to anyone who's intelligent and uses the internet. So, Vince, fuck off. You're an asshole at this point. You don't belong where you are anymore. The only reason that you are where you are is because you went with these formulas that seem to somehow work. You don't do anything original or interesting anymore. When you have a chance to do something original and interesting, you completely fuck it over because you don't know what you're doing. And you think you're smarter than everyone else. You're not. You're dumb. You really are at this point. You're senile. You need to step down. That's my honest opinion. Fuck it. That's all I have to say, okay? Harsh words from the King of Hate. And that's all I have to say about that. Now I'm going to go back to gaming and having a pleasant day doing other stuff. So I apologize for this rant, for this video, but I just wanted to respond since so many fans asked me my opinion on what was going on, what I felt about the shoot promo. Geez, CM Punk coming back. It's such a fucking waste of time, and I'm just so turned off at it at this point. I've got such a negative vibe now because when an entire company says, fuck you, you're not smart enough, which is exactly what they did. Whatever. I'm DSP. Fuck the WWE. Fuck Vince McMahon and his stupid yes men writers. Hopefully one day it'll turn around, but at this point it's not looking too good, especially with what was said last night. Yeah, it's true. Steph and Triple H will take over the company and it will be just more of the same. it is what it is. At least there's other wrestling out there for people who actually want to see interesting stuff go down. So, I'm DSP. Thanks a lot for bearing with me, and that's how it is. And I'll see you later. And by the way, like I said, no Smark Guys this week. I don't know why people keep saying, "Gee, are you going to talk about this on Smark Guys?" This is why I make the weekend preview, to tell you I'm going to be busy this weekend and I'm taking time off. There's no Smark Guys this week, which is kind of why I'm doing this video. Okay? So, all right. Thanks. See you later.